fear they are most at risk of what is to come.
Why?
Because the way this is spreading, it's going one faction after the other, going for prominent members. They have yet to be grabbed, so to speak. They are next.
Is this the Venom Blades again?
It is most likely related to it to a dire degree, yes.
Zrat won't be here until 20 ticks, so don't wait for him.
Hello.
Sorry
Oh.
we're late.
Oh, I'm not.
Does anyone else know of any others who wish to arrive?
I think that is it. For now.
Seems no one else from Vegas is here.
Well, I
A
don't know that
moment's
anyone from
respite.
Aegis is coming.
That is a pity.
I'm not sure how involved they were. Proceedings of the cycle. We just were doing some reconnaissance and happened to stumble across the rest of you.
A moment's respite.
Very well. I shall begin this discussion with clearing some ground. Roughly, I want to say 3 weeks ago, 2 members of our factions were infected with fungal-like spores because they were devoured by an entity several are calling the Hyphae. This entity was unknown in its origin at first, and to this day we are still not certain of its existence. This being devoured them utterly. Every scrape, every drop of blood, every flesh and sinew destroyed and devoured out. Luckily, they were both vampires, and so they reconstituted. When they reconstituted, they were not the same. They were surrounded by fungal-like growths and spores that emanated from their very body. At this point, suspicions arose, because the 2 figures, who did not know each other at any point before so, were inexplicably drawn to each other, unnaturally so, and were overly familiar to the point where they would feel anxiety when being separated and would immediately look for one another. We speak of Robin, of the Gilded Compass, and Rouge of the Shepherds of Ash. This
Wait,
was
what?
an anomaly, and so me and Zrot investigated it. We have found quite a lot of extensive information. Not all of it is worth sharing now, but it is worrying. We have many reasons to suspect and believe that this spore, is altering their very minds and personalities. They are changing. They are sensing things like the earthquakes before they happen. They are feeling that there is more going on. I would have left it here and not called this meeting were it not for the 3rd incident. Boudica was devoured by the Serpent Queen, the same way the Hyphae devoured them. And they returned as not only a vampire, but infected with the spores. This confirms 2 things, or potentially one of 2 things. 1, these spores are the will of the Serpent Queen, Those infected are their unwitting puppets. Or, the Serpent Queen is also a pawn, same as them. Both are dire. But this has shown us that our enemy's true face is grander, or that we have a different one we didn't previously know of. All three individuals should not be treated as if they are still them at heart. I believe deep down there, and this is my personal opinion speaking, that it is them just being controlled. For that reason, I want every faction that these people belong to put them under house arrest for the time being. I will answer questions in a moment. I also wished the Order of Aegis would be here, because I believe they are to be the next target. It is not a coincidence that all three people are high prominent members of each faction. I find the notion that is coincidental ludicrous.
I mean, Roche got eaten because he was running away with a pocket full of those fibers that it wanted. I
Yes,
imagine that if any
so
of us
was
had done
Robin.
the same, they also
And you
would have
seem
gotten
to
eaten.
forget,
Correct.
exactly, you seem to forget that I was eaten as well, completely. And I was also infected for but a few moments. In addition to that, I made many tests on the corrupted blood from the venom blade. From the pure specimens, nothing less. These are not the same thing. Not at all. I very much doubt the Serpent Queen meant to do what she did to Boudica. This was an execution, not an attempt to turn her or infect her.
No, it wasn't.
If she didn't mean to do it, that makes it worse, for whatever this is more powerful than her.
It wasn't an execution, it was a sacrifice. That is what they called it. It is a very important distinction.
Sacrifice may not
correct.
necessarily kill them.
No, he is correct, and it doesn't matter.
Drott also agrees with all of my hypotheses, and he, I think you will all find, has worked on this much harder than anyone else. Your cure is an anomaly, and I have to raise an eyebrow at it, but you do not show any symptoms, nor do you show the spores visibly. For that reason, I have said nothing about you, to spare you the rumors. You volunteered yourself up for that.
And are we certain that the sacrifice wasn't merely a catalyst when Boudica had possibly already been exposed in a prior event?
I am unaware.
That's
They
true,
are here
most of
now.
the Venom Blades are human, aren't they? They walk about in the sun.
They are
Yes.
all
So,
human. They do not
Assuming
like
their queen
vampires.
is also snake human, where did Boudica get her
A
vampirism?
human thing.
I just want to point out that before the sacrifice happened, the Serpent Queen said that it wasn't the end for Boudica, that she was gonna be changed. So
Did
something,
they now?
yeah.
She said I was going to fuel her power.
Ah, another confirmation. I believe that there are several stages. Zrot was going to this, unfortunately he is not here. They, right now, show the symptoms of stage 1. We know of 2 instances of stage 3, which are the Hyphae and another being we have yet to name. They, in contact with a rat in stage 1, caused it to go to stage 2. The infection progressed when they were near together. I believe the goal is that this fungus acts as a hive mind, draws these individuals together to siphon them. That is why they cannot put words into what this connection is, for they don't understand it themselves. It was made for a fungus, not a human mind. They
Well,
don't understand.
I do want to present some information in case any of us have forgotten. The Hyphae is definitely not on the Venom sides and actually killed some of their assassins at one point.
Then, I believe that something else is at play.
Yeah, I watched.
We can confirm what those sacrifices are now to fuel her own power, her own strength. That is part of how she creates the venom. We've translated many of the documents, Yesod can tell you, he's done so himself.
She
Whatever
wanted...
this-
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I want to hear Boudica.
Right, she wanted to eat me to fuel her power, not whatever this is. They don't care for vampires.
None
She's
of their
fucking
members
selfish
are
and
vampires.
Then this is something using the Queen as a pawn, and equally we need to be afraid of it.
No.
Uh,
My theory is that
super-
this power is also used by Venom Blades, but it is not originated by the Venom Blades. This is something That is common, yes, but the source is not them.
Then that doesn't matter. It is using the venom blades, not the other way around. We still have this problem.
If they are using the
I
venom
wish
blades,
to-
then
I
why
wish
would
to-
the venom blades be attacking myself and Robin? Why would they not be
I
allies
just
with
told
us?
you. They aren't... It is irrelevant. The bit I wanted to get to was the stages of infection. Zrot would be better at explaining this than I. But as I said before, we know of 2 instances of stage 3 infection. They made a rat in stage 1 go to stage 2. Contact with Robin, on the other hand, made that rat go back to stage 1. It pleaded for them to listen before the rat scurried away. Robin, quite unlike her, clawed at the very walls to get at this rat. In the end, nothing came of that, but I have 2 hypotheses about this. Connection with infected individuals will either increase in the infection or lessen it. I know not which. For that reason, I want to put all 3 infected under house arrest until we confirm which.
You're not putting me back in a bloody cage.
It is
I
not
think
a
house
cage.
arrest is
Don't propose
unreasonable.
house arrest either.
None of your points you have brought up have been... what's the correct term? Not refuted, basically. Every single point you have made has something going against it. Your claims are baseless. They are theories, and not worth the time.
I witnessed this firsthand.
What
You
proof
also
do you
need to
have that
make
this even
a cure.
moves in 3 stages? It's not like it's a cancerous disease. Just look at them, they're very
Because the
obviously
rat
afflicted
changed
by
between
something-
all 3 stages via contact with others. Again, as Rot was here, he would explain it better.
Ah, yes, because a living creature is so similar
what-
to something of
What
undead.
should we do if we see the rat that you've mentioned?
Probably capture it.
It
Okay.
is. It
I mean,
is
I didn't-
harmless and just wants freedom. Why would you capture it?
Because it is infected.
We can create it at
I-
any time.
I find that I think that would be hard to do because it went through the walls of my estate.
I see.
Yeah, if it's anything like the fucking weird ass thing that came to the Silver Pact and walked through the walls and ate our Waygate, it's probably the same thing. Because that same
was one of them,
creature,
yes.
that same
That was
creature,
the
all,
The Hyphae eats Waygates.
yeah, the Hyphae also ate the Venom Blade Assassin in front of us.
One of these things appeared before me when we first got here. It wasn't the Hyphae, it was something else.
The one that watches.
I manifested in the middle of our sanctuary. It just sort of stood there, then passed through a wall.
The one that watches was actually the one that ate the assassin in the Waygate, because it was like, but they seem like the same thing. They look like kind of the same. I don't know.
Then this being is attacking the Venom Blades as it is us.
Maybe
Yeah,
like
the
maybe
Hyphae
it's
ate
more
the
like
barrier.
an animal.
Yes.
Those 2 individuals, I suspect, were once people the same as those 3. I suspect at later stages they will digress mentally. As Rot experimented on the rat when he forced it into stage 2, it degraded mentally.
I have got 2
How does
things
a
I would
rat
like to
degrade
bring up.
mentally? It's a rat.
Rats can do simple tasks. They can do several things, and all of a sudden it couldn't do them once it hit stage 2. That's pretty good proof to me.
Can
You were
I
saying
make my 2 points?
Yes.
My first point is that Boudica mentioned herself that she felt a unnatural and sudden attraction and drawing to Roge after whatever the fuck happened to her. The second point I would like to make is that before Roge disappeared in front of my very eyes, the form around them, the mist, the spores, whatever you would like to call it, grew stronger, deeper, and looked a lot more like the Hyphae.
Yes.
At the worst, at the best case scenario, the 3 of them are being transformed into the similar individuals to the Hyphae. I don't want that to happen. I wish to stop that. Further plots about what is going on can wait to be deciphered, but right now, that, I feel, is a near certainty. We do not know how this progresses. If we find proof that them being near each other is actually good and stops the infection, I will perfectly allow that. We don't know is the problem.
How can you be so certain?
Because of the experiment with the rat.
I mean, I guess. I mean, if you wanted to do an
So they're being
experiment.
turned into the Hyphae
Because of what
because of a rat.
the one that Watchers did to the rat. It progressed its stage, and then its stage lowered with contact to Robin, which is contradictory information.
Okay,
which is why
but-
we need to test it.
But Lothric, it would be like really easy to test this by just like putting 2 of them together and keeping the other one separate.
I was going to suggest that as well, actually.
I am willing to do that experiment, if everyone else is. I called everyone here because this should not be my call alone. I think we need to have a vote.
Oh,
How did, how did the
people that
three
are
of them
affected
feel
have,
about?
have a voice in all this.
I'm about to say, this sounds an awful lot like experimenting on fellow
think
kin.
that every faction can decide for themselves.
Of course, the Shepherds of Ash would say that, yes.
You do not get to say
I mean,
anything,
like
but
our whole
you're
Bennies seem to obey.
purely emotional.
The Aegis. I'm not sure why I said Aegis. I meant to say Oak Song Accord.
It's fine.
What is your suggestion?
The same thing we've been doing so far. We keep them
Alright.
separate from each other. We let the fungus die, because you forgot to mention it feeds off magic. And if it doesn't get its sustenance, it will die. That means getting them away from any and all sources of magic, including other vampires, enchanted humans, even the bloody candles in our keep we keep floating.
In other words, house arrest.
Yes,
So you do agree with me?
I
I'm
already
not going
did
back
it.
in the cage.
I'm
No,
not going in a
it-
cage either.
I knew that.
Never
Something that
think
is
about
unproven.
This might be the right one. I think they might be upstairs.
Let me check something real quick. What if we infect another? How would you feel about that?
Why the fuck would you do that?
We don't know
How
how
would
they're
you feel about
affected. How would we
How
know
would
about
you
it?
feel about that?
Lady Pasadena,
Is it their
welcome.
choice?
Yes,
Do they want to do it?
they do.
Then why is this even a question to us? If they want to do it, it's their own damn
How
choice.
do you feel about it?
That's
Good
okay.
for them. If they don't want to do it, then good for them as well. Whatever they want to do, they should do it.
I'm pleased with
Brutally eaten. Then go for it.
I'm pleased by your answer.
And to get something that we don't know of yet.
Well, I would like to go back to my suggestion of a vote.
I'm not voting Boudica's fate away. You want to put her under house arrest? You have to go through me to get to it.
That's menacing.
Lady,
You going to say something?
I don't know. I think a lot of us don't feel good about the house arrest, save for the shepherds, of course, and I think they're free to do what they want.
Everyone
There
is free to do what they want.
There is the worrying part that if we don't do it to all of them, we might as well not do it at all, because of their connection.
Wouldn't it make more sense if the ones that they are in the factions of should be the ones that vote them together as a group? The other factions don't really matter, in my opinion. The ones
That
are
is what I
there.
said as well.
That is what I told you before. You have no authority over any of us. The same go for the Aegis and the Oxa.
And it sounds
His
like
decision is ours to make. not
I
yours.
will allow that if that is how we want to do this. But I will state again, if we
You're not
don't do it to
allowed
all,
it. You're not our fucking king.
Easy, everybody. I get what we're saying. I get what we're saying.
I should have used a different word.
There are enemies on my land.
I would like to remind everyone that if we don't do it to all three, we might as well not do it at all.
And then we don't. It's that simple. Everyone has their own choice, everyone has their own factions, and they can decide on their own.
And if the theory is correct, and this is a hostile entity that wishes to take us over one after the other, we will have unwitting spies in our midst, who are slowly being converted into them.
What proof do we have that these entities are even hostile to begin with?
They devour people and turn them
People who
into
are
themselves.
holding the fibers.
They
ones
devour
that
the
are-
fibers.
They devour the fibers.
And anyone that gets in their way,
Fibers
yes.
won't get devoured.
Anything that gets in their way.
Wild animals is what you're boiling it down to.
Wild animals are terrifying and are hunted all the time. With meetings like this, we should treat it like one, you're correct.
But you are mistaken. Back when the Hyphae attacked Rouge, it did not attack anyone else. More than that, people physically stood in its way and it simply walked around.
Let
It
me...
only responded
I had a conversation with it.
whenever it was
It spoke
attacked.
back to you?
Mm-hmm.
What did it say?
Hold on.
Very funny.
That does sound about right. That does sound about right, actually.
It is
Yes.
able of communicating. It's not wrong. It
I
did.
would also like to point something else out. You are putting a lot of faith on experiments on rats when we are kindred and humans. And all the ones infected are kindred.
I did
Man,
mention
like-
that the difference between living flesh versus vampiric.
It's true.
Like
but
a
yeah, that
rat
was
as well.
probably not heard.
Although, I suppose we don't have proof that the rat is not kindred.
Is it
I mean-
supposedly living within your walls?
It's not living in my walls, I just saw it.
Fine.
And it
Perhaps
wanted...
someone should write the rat a letter and see if the rat would be ready.
I will add another note.
I would love to write the rat.
These beings, for the most part, if you don't hold fibers, and if you leave them alone, will not harm you. But they have harmed three that are very potentially, and I think quite likely, to turn into them.
Sorry, 3, who's the third? Because I fucking have never...
You 3.
I have never gotten on the wrong side of any of those things.
Oh, you're right, yes, a different entity can also start this infection, another reason to be worried.
A possible suggestion.
Were exposed at some point, Boudica.
I mean, there's also Athrid. Like, there's also Athrid, right?
So, a possible suggestion, much like how red that is left out can get moldy, perhaps it simply saw the opportunity after Bo died.
That is quite likely, actually.
She
Which
could have
means
been
that...
of some
Did you
kind.
have fibers on your person when you perished?
I had nothing on my person. I was dressed in rags.
So even without the fibers, they can prove to devour. There is the
Perhaps they-
problem... Go on.
Perhaps the queen had
Yeah.
consumed enough fibers to affect her while she was being digested.
Quite possible.
Or if I'm
The opposite is
actually,
I don't know
think
why
about
she'd
it.
be eating fibers, but
There is the thing I want to bring up. If you leave them alone, and don't have the fibers, they won't attack you. But they have attacked 3 of a number, who could potentially convert and turn into them. Then we'd have 5. Then 1 more will go. Then another 2. Then 1 more by accident. Then a 5th. Then we are all fucking gone.
But you're still ignoring a few key points. 1, I carried over 600 of those on me, and I died repeatedly. You were there, you saw it with your own eyes, but nothing happened.
Right
That's
place,
just
right
one
time. Wrong place, wrong time. It doesn't matter. Numbers spread.
Alright, that's one thing.
seem to say an
Secondly,
awful lot doesn't matter.
I was killed by the Hyphae, devoured in my entirety, just like Rouge was, holding about 300 of those. And look at me now, nothing. My
You
blood
are
was
an
just-
anomaly, yes.
Well, no, the implication is it's targeting
Perhaps.
with purpose, right?
Yes,
One of
thank
each
you.
faction. So of course it skipped over you.
It already
It's
had
targeted
Rouge.
with
Didn't need
purpose.
another. That's why I worry for the Order of Aegis. I near guarantee you that when the 4th shows up, it will be one of their number.
There's
Can I
one
just-
issue with your argument here. Emily, didn't you get eaten before me?
That I did. I went back
Because
home.
you were there when I
I-
reconstituted.
Okay.
Silly question, is Emily important?
I think
Emily
she's there.
Emily and Rose are of the same rank within the
Okay, thank you.
I am actually below him, but I am
Oh.
not.
Thank you for your
Okay,
honesty.
that question.
Can I ask a question?
Who said that?
This guy.
Oh, you in the hood, yes, step forward.
Yes. Hypothetically, if someone has some purple things going around them, on them, in them, is that one of the signs? Or is there something completely...
Look at the three behind you.
Yes, that's why I'm...
Have you seen another with that?
I haven't seen that, no.
Are you asking if we find another infected individual?
I'm just wondering if I need to keep my eyes up for something that looks more like the purple veins and things of that nature.
Then, by all means, if you find more, report it. That should go for any of you as well.
Very well.
So I must say, given the rest of us are exposing our faces for the most part,
There is also the possibility, due to it affecting and changing the mind, that whatever this being is knows everything these three know, which is why I'm quite hesitant to let them run free, as it were. At the very least, I think the information they are given should be limited. That is, of course, up to the factions to pick.
Lothric was saying that since one of each of the other factions has been infected, that one of ours might be next.
I wanted Zrot to be here. He has come to a lot of the same conclusions of me, and I know he is a lot less biased, as many would view me. But the truth and the results are the same.
Times you've compared them to animals, yet you're also saying that they have an intelligence to perform espionage through.
They may have intelligence, and we should treat them as animals. We do not know, and that is the terrifying part. At least until we know more, we should limit your activities.
Yes, you want to imprison us just in case.
House arrest and
Back in a
works.
bloody cage.
You'll be put in a room that's lovely, I'm sure.
You
will
won't
be able to
be
go
put
around
in a
just-
room. It's not going to happen.
I mean, I'm putting...
What would you be willing? Not obviously, nobody wants to be put in a cage. Not gonna suggest that, but clearly we don't have enough information. We don't know what it is. We don't know what we're gonna do about it. We don't know how it affects us as kindred. Is there anything that you would be willing to do to help us get that knowledge?
I mean, I do have an idea. I'm not sure how long it would take for us to come up with, but we could possibly make a portable device that drains their magic continuously, at least enough to starve the fungus.
I love that idea.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I have a really simple solution that might work to learn something. Two of you stay the fuck together and live together and travel together, and I don't fucking know, and the other one doesn't. And like
that.
Ah, yes, let's risk progressing the infection.
Yes. Thank you, Yasod. That was going to be my point exactly. The risk in that.
Your claim that we should drain magic through some magical device, kindred are magical beings. You could just kill us by doing that.
Yes.
It would leave you significantly weakened, yes, but the point is to starve
No,
the
if you were
fungus
to
and
drain
ideally
a
not
kindred
kill
of
you.
all magic, you would be draining the primordial death magic that keeps us animate. To be without magic as a vampire is to be dead. There's no if
Then
and or
we
buts about
definitely
it.
shall not do that experiment then. I didn't know that. Apologies. I am a human.
Even if we go by...
Starve the fungus.
Yep, okay. Even if we go with that idea, though, and we try to keep limited, who's to say that the little magic that does get through to try and keep them alive doesn't just get eaten by the parasite and then they still die?
Fair point.
Well, I offered my limbs for whatever experiments you want to do. I guess
We-
more than that would force me to reconstitute.
Yes, and I thank you for that. We did several experiments on it, and
on.
unfortunately this... Yes?
Robin, you're not human.
No.
Neither is Rose.
No, I'm not human.
Was Robin human before?
No.
Okay.
What have you realized?
I wasn't fully human before this. But I wasn't a vampire. I was
What were
something
you
else.
before?
Fae. Half Fae at least. But that's gone now.
I have no strong feelings.
That
on
may be
that.
relevant. I'll make a note of it.
Allow me to get more comfortable.
Very scary.
Be magical beings.
I mean, didn't Ethred mention that whole thing about how, like, the whole thing that's up with her, which, by the way, looks exactly the same as you three, like, was turning her into Kindred when she wasn't before?
What?
So, like, yeah, that's, like, what she said when we saw her near Quincy. Like, there were, like, 10 other people there.
I remember that.
She said that,
Are
like,
they
it was,
still
like,
that?
I don't fucking know. I haven't seen Ethred since. But, like, that's what she said. It was months ago now.
It might be worth writing to her. Maybe she's learned something.
That could be another potential case like Emily, someone who was infected and then for one reason or another the infection just left.
No, it wasn't leaving. She said it was getting worse, like exactly
Still
the opposite.
infected, correct. More than that, she may not be a variable. I do believe she has gone off the deep end in some way or
Allow me
another.
to get more comfortable.
And let us not repeat that.
I don't know if she was with anyone that was like her.
Do any of the three of you sense this individual at all?
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Then for the time being we should act as if they are a piece removed from the board.
As far as I'm aware, she has not been seen either since the day me and Rose were attacked.
Although, actually, I will raise a question here, is that, specifically in the magic draining aspect, wouldn't the fungus just continuously eat our magics if we were in a magically isolated space?
Emily, you had a theory that if they were left alone for long enough they will be cured, yes?
Cured more along the lines of the fungus will die. It is feeding off of magic. You cut off its food supply, it will starve to death. Simple as.
But
that means the only way to do it would be to kill the vampire.
It does not feed on eternal energies. Why, I do not know. Rosenrot has been working on this for, what do you say, months at this point?
I wish they were here.
She is currently working on this. She has an end, one I will not reveal.
Rosenrot and Zrot need to work very well together. They have very similar expertise, and I believe if everything is to go right, those two will solve it.
They have been working together, and so has Eliza, as far as
I'm aware, yes.
There is still no proof that a lack of magic will kill off this quote-unquote fungus.
I agree with Rouge, actually.
You keep
we need to test that on
throwing
the
that
world.
around and yet have no evidence for it.
I know, and I have been trying to work on that, and failing for reasons you both know. However, as you've said, it is still a theory, it has not been attested just yet. I assume, if we are considering this fungus as a living being of some sort, and we're considering it is feeding, no food, no life, just like the rest of us.
So, as I was saying, you have no proof, and then you confirm it as a theory, you have not tested it.
Rouge, I have agreed with you so far.
Rouge, you make a good point. Thank you. I think if Emily's theory is to be correct, the complete starving of magic that would be needed would kill the three of you, and I cannot allow that.
I don't think they're... What the hell? What if this is the only thing keeping me alive? Undead, whatever the fuck you call it.
I
didn't choose to come back. rather be back.
Boudica, I'm sure we can get a blood expert to look at you to see if you are in fact a true form of vampire like the rest, or if you have a unique affliction. I would not want to cure you until that is found out, but I would want to cure you, if we can safely.
Could humans be starved of magic and survive?
You're all, as in the enchanted humans, something new.
That one here?
A
Well,
different. We do not
I
know
want to
yet.
get to the... I'm growing tired and I'm growing weary. I want to get to the final decision part. You factions can decide amongst yourselves. I think I've made my case. I wish Short was here. Unfortunately, he is not.
Maybe next time don't speak on behalf of Zerat.
I didn't want to.
Then don't. As I've said,
It's very simple.
Perhaps this is what you were advised not to in the first place.
You call this reason for one reason and one reason only. You know what it is.
Oh,
Everyone get down!
That's a
Watch
familiar
yourselves.
face.
Hey, I was just asking about that one earlier. I have no idea what's going on.
What the hell?
So this is where you ran off to.
Who are you speaking to?
Let's see. The blindfolded one.
Yes,
What
as
is
I
it you
said,
want
he
here?
helped me
What
to
the
come
fuck?
here.
He's not a hostile.
What is it you want?
I am, as long as you keep your hands to yourselves. The sword is not for decoration. I'm here to thank these two over here for spinning the wheel and feeding the Hyphae. You have my personal gratitude for that action.
You are very welcome.
Scoot over.
Does this mean we're friends now?
Do you not have the same
No.
We haven't invited them over for drinks yet.
You can come over for drinks if you like.
I hate repeating myself. You were asked to scoot over. A storm is coming in 2.5 turns. I expect the weaklings amongst you to brace yourselves and the strong ones to prevail at the aftermath. Once more, I thank you two for feeding the Hyphae. That is all. I do not have anything else to talk to you all about.
You said a storm is coming. What kind of bloody storm?
You will find out sooner than later. The wheel will speak.
That's ominous as fuck, but okay.
Thank you for the
I'd have to
warning.
guess.
We're not going to talk about how that one looks like.
That's like super fucking ominous, but okay.
Oh, super ominous, but better
Yeah.
to know than to not.
He did, didn't he?
First the fucking earthquakes, now this.
Thanking others for feeding the Hyphae. This is concerning.
Well, maybe perhaps that warning was because they fed the Hyphae. Maybe we've
No, he
never
thanked
known of
them.
it if they didn't.
So, I'm
Okay.
throwing out the creature and animal hypothesis. This is an intelligent entity. Or group of entities.
What? I have no idea what's going on. What did I miss?
I will inform you later. Shut up.
Okay.
This one proclaims to be protector of the Hyphae. Me and a few others follow the Hyphae. who are also following.
What are you all following and observing me for? I'm not a creature on display.
You were there with us. We
I want
talked.
to know something, but there are a lot of voices.
So be it.
What the hell do you want?
Yeah, I think I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm so tired.
I just know it wasn't
We-
hostile
we're
because
gonna
he
need to
had
have that
Rose down
conversation.
on the mountain, and he did not attack us.
hoped we'd been able to
You
have
sure
missiles
things
for it.
are only hostile once you attack them.
Just
And
go.
I've said as much
Go
of
talk.
the
We'll
time, but
get it through. We'll
before they
talk. Bye,
He
Thor.
helped me.
I know
attempted
where
to help
he'd
me
stand on
overcome
it,
my
but I
fear
would
of
have liked to
gravity.
hear him say it.
Healthy respect, not fear. Healthy
Bye.
respect.
Cat, I need to go rest. I'm exhausted. Slept in a week.
In that case, I believe there is more to this. Stages acting differently amongst each other.
Lauren, gonna go rest. I don't remember the last time I slept.
Okay. You're probably going to need it one way or another.
Well, I might be awake for this storm, or I don't know.
Rest well, Ruby.
Bye.